There are 4 steps to solving linear application problems. The first is to define your variables. You need to decide what is the unknown quantity that you're representing in your problem. Generally, you want to write this down. It's very easy to get confused by the end of the problem and forget exactly what quantity the variable was representing. Step 2, you use that variable to write an equation. Step 3 is to solve that equation, and once we've solved that equation, it's important that we interpret our answer and answer the question that was asked in the beginning of the problem. You will sometimes run across what are known as consecutive integer problems. Consecutive integers would be integers that follow each other. For instance, 7 and 8 would be consecutive integers. 11 and 12 would be consecutive integers. 101 and 102 would be consecutive integers. So to represent these, you have to ask yourself, how do I get from one number to the next consecutive integer? Well, how would you get from 7 to 8? You add 1. How do you get from 11 to 12? You add 1. How do you get from 101 to 102? You add 1. So whenever we're doing a problem with consecutive integers, if one of our unknowns is one of the numbers x, then we can represent the other quantity, the next consecutive integer, with x plus 1. Sometimes a problem will talk about consecutive even integers or consecutive odd integers. So consecutive even integers would be like 8 and 10. So notice how you get from one even integer to the next consecutive even integer, you add 2. So the way we would represent these unknown values is with x and x plus 2. For consecutive odd integers, these would be numbers like 11 and 13. From one odd to the next odd, and how do you get from one odd to the next one? Still you add 2. So for consecutive odd integers, we also represent them as x and x plus 2. So here we have 2 consecutive positive odd integers summed to 94, and we want to know what is the smaller of these numbers. Well, one of these numbers will be represented with x, and the other will be represented with x plus 2, because they're consecutive odd integers. So now we know what the quantities are that we're going to be expressing in this problem. Now we need to build an equation. So we know that these two numbers sum to 94, so write that equation. X plus 2 equals 94. And the only reason I write this in parentheses is so that you can recognize that's our second number. Right? So this becomes 2x plus 2 equals 94, or 2x equals 92, and x equals 46. So our smaller number is 46, and the bigger number is 48. So 46 is the smaller of the two numbers.